Then I was 16 when she passed, so you were 10, kind of thing. So it's interesting how we both went through the same situation, but we kind of saw it from different perspectives, because I was a little bit more, I was older, had on the verge of having my permit, or, I could go away with people and ride dirt bikes and all that kind of thing. So I definitely had that escape. You kind of were on the front row of it, like, because you had to go to a lot of the doctor's appointments and,
Yeah, I mean, cause I spent a lot of time, following mom around. Even when I was younger, like when you were at school, like she was towing me off to Costco, or we would go to the movies or whatever. But yeah, I mean, I had to go with her like on a daily basis. But even during those times, I felt like mom had a interesting sense of humor. Like she gave her doctors funny nicknames, and she would like we would make fun of them in the waiting room. And so even when she wasn't like feeling well, but she knew I was there, like she tried to be strong, and also try to reduce like the seriousness of those moments. But it was weird because it was like a new normal of like driving down to LA to go to the radiation treatments, or when we had to stay like in the apartment in Hollywood to go to the hospitals there for Kaiser. That was it was a little bit different, but um, I thought she did a good job of like trying to make sure that we felt comfortable and that we were taken care of. Because that's when you got a lot of driving miles during that summer when we were going back and forth on the weekdays.
Yeah, because I just got my permit when she was going through that. And so, Dad had to work a lot of the time, so I would be tasked with driving her back and forth and things like that. And you would always be in the back seat, poking me or doing some sort of little sibling sister thing.
When you were first learning to drive, you were so nervous. You were like, because you'd be driving, and I remember like you hated to be touched while you were driving because you were like, gripping the steering wheel like a
white
knuckles, and I would just be sitting right behind you, like, and I would wait, like lull you into a false sense of security, and then I would like poke you in the neck, and you'd be like, ah. And then we would almost like get in an accident. I'd be like, and then mom would be like, don't make me come back there and straighten you out. Leave your brother alone.
Yeah.
But so I like, even though it was like a bad time, there's a lot of like good memories from that time period. It was I don't know, it was tough. I remember mom being in a lot of pain sometimes, and when you're like 9 years old, think about like what would Jet do, today, and that's kind of where I was at the time, because it like I didn't understand what like cancer meant. I didn't really know at first like that it meant that she could die, or like what like death was really.
So really didn't have any context for any
weird.
Of that.
No, not. I mean, maybe for you because you were like a teenager, so maybe you knew better. But for me, it was like Patty Donnelly, my aunt, had to like sit down and explain it to me one day that like this is very serious, and there's a chance that like she won't make it. So that was like a weird moment when I was like 9, because at first I just didn't know what was going on. So it's like, even though I was on the front lines, I was like unaware.
Well, and I think a lot of it, they wanted to protect us, so they weren't getting into a lot of details. Because I remember all the way up almost to the end that I didn't really grasp the fact like, oh wow, you can actually die. I just figured, okay, so you're gonna go to the doctor, get some medication, and we'll move on with our lives because doctors can solve everything, kind of thing. But that last 6 months it went downhill really fast. That was a tough year. That was in 1998, and that snowball, once that really started, it went quickly.
I think it did. I think I'm glad that like that was a time where she was in a lot of pain and it was really difficult. So I'm glad that it didn't like drag out too long for her. Because I remember like when she was bedridden and it was getting closer to the end, she was on so much morphine that she couldn't speak coherently. And I remember trying to like say I love you, and she was like so incoherent that she started crying because she knew it wasn't like, even though you think you're saying something, you're just speaking like gibberish. And I remember like I didn't really know how to cook a lot or anything, but I knew how to make French toast. So I would like I would make her a French toast to be like, here, I'm taking care of you. I'm trying to make you feel better. And I would give her my baby blanket at the time. Do you remember that blanket I had with me all the time? I had a baby blanket.
Vaguely, yeah.
And it went to college with me, but so I would give it to her to be like, I hope you feel better. But there's not a lot that you can do for somebody in those situations other than be there.
And I think that's the hardest part of going through that, especially at such a young age, at any age, but at a young age, because you don't have those emotional tools to deal with what's happening that is so heavy, at that age. But when you're losing a parent, and we were both at very vulnerable ages, I was 16, so I'm about to be an adult, and you're 10, you're about to be a young woman kind of thing. Like, you need your mom there for these big life transitions kind of deal. And so to watch the person that brought you into the world slowly just fade away due to the cancer and things like that, that's one of the hardest parts that I've ever experienced, and I would probably say for you as well.